What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 1 and 2 of Solo Leveling Season 2. That's right, we watched all of last season. We did reviews of that if you're curious about those, and we are now on to Season 2. A little late, playing catch up. I've been sick for like a week and a half, so you understand, and we're going to do a review of both episodes together, and we'll be going full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you guys watched these 2 episodes, and we'll do a real quick recap. Chevy, what happened in episode 1 and 2 in a simple way of explaining? A lot of things happened.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names, so I probably won't remember most of them. So
Jinwoo,
bear with me.
main guy.
However, the show continues from where we left off, like pretty much right on there. So that
Yeah, it
was
just feels
very
like
nice.
it's just
Yep.
an extension of what we already saw.
We start off with him sleeping into a teacher meeting he's supposed to do for his sister. I assume because the parents aren't involved, he is the one who gets to talk to the teachers. It's just kind of emphasized again that with him leveling up and his body maturing alongside it, that everyone in the school is infatuated with him now. And the sister notices it and kind of gives a, "Hey, are you single? I can hook you up with someone," which he playfully pinches her cheek and basically tells her to shut up. So he has the meeting with I believe it's a teacher, could be the principal, either way, school official. And, she's doing great. She's going to be fine to be, I believe it was medical as her profession. And then she asks kind of a hypothetical that if the sister were to awaken and, have powers, would he allow her to become a hunter? To which he pretty instantly says no. She follows that up with asking if he could do her a favor. We get a cut to the younger gal who we saw at the end of the last season. Turns out,
Yeah, I forgot her name.
they went to the same school. She knows his sister and is surprised that he's her brother. Kind of a small world type of deal. She assumes he's there to convince her to go back to school and stop being a hunter, because apparently she's a dropout and decided to be a hunter. Which it does feel like that he's kind of trying to read the room a little bit at first, and is not opposed to that, but I think he kind of sees a little bit of himself in her and decides to instead take her under his wing. And they go to a training area. There's one of the guilds, I think it was called the White Tiger Guild.
Yeah.
They run training seminars where they bring like an A rank to take a bunch of people into what do they call them? Portals, raids, whatever, dungeons. It doesn't matter.
Everybody gets it. And this is a bad one.
They have full 10 people, including Jinwoo and the girl. The tank guy who is in charge feels like he's a babysitter, which a common theme in the show. People just think they're hot shit and can't be bothered to protect people, apparently. Mm-hmm. They go into the portal. It immediately starts glitching out, turns red. We are informed that means that it basically locks, no coming in, no coming out, until either you win and defeat the boss, or a break happens, which, if I'm not mistaken, means that it allows it to open up and let the monsters pour out.
Yeah.
It's been a while since season
I'm pretty
1.
sure that's what that meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the conditions for the portal to reopen.
That was kind of a struggle for me in this, because we watched season 1. It's been not that long, honestly. This came out pretty quick,
though.
but it's been long enough. We've watched enough animes now that I'm just like, what happened? Okay,
Right. Recap and the tank decides their best course of action is to split into 2 groups. They go
Big mistake.
do that. This happens because they get ambushed by some ice elves. I can't remember what other name they go by, but
Ice Slayers.
ice slayers.
Yeah. Intelligent enemies.
They do, one of the lower ranks does get killed, but I think she's a mage girl that's with them, is very observant and realizes that the only person who saw that arrow was Jinwoo, and so she opts to join his group.
Very smart.
Very smart, as we learn later, as
It's like, these guys are going to get me fucking killed.
what
I'm going with that guy.
supposed to be A-team runs into a bunch of bears. They fight those off a little bit. It cuts away from that. We go back to our B team with Jinwoo and them.
That team kind of sucked, too, because fucking... That tank was holding his own against the bears pretty good,
Yeah.
but those guys were always like hiding behind him, and then obviously later...
All the trainees,
Yeah, they just... Yeah, but he took them because he's like, these guys are the ones...
higher rank ones.
Yeah, these guys are the ones who are going to be able to help with this, and not really.
Yeah. We also run into bears on Jinwoo's side, except for Jinwoo just basically tells them to back off, and he just solos them all.
Just solo levels them.
Yeah. Very much not keeping a secret in a very secretive way anymore. He just kind of gives them a shush, and they go along their day. We cut back eventually to... Oh, no. I think I'm skipping ahead. Jinwoo eventually, they're all camping. He goes off on his own. He doesn't really tell them what he's doing. He's just basically... I'm going to go exercise is basically what it was.
He also reached into his inventory and pulled out a bunch of
Coats for
stuff.
everybody,
Yep,
supplies
coats
and
and stuff.
stuff,
So
yeah.
they're all fucking just having like a nice little
They're
vacation.
camping.
Yeah.
He finds the cave with all the bears and decides it's a good time to test his new skill of his necromancy, I believe it was. And he summons this whole army, including the casters and the Ignis. I think
Igris.
Igris.
I think it's Igris.
The boss he fought at the end of last season.
Yeah. The cool one.
It was, basically a war between beasts and them, and we get a reminder on how strong Igris is, and he turns all the bears into his pawns as well and heads back. We go to the A team, who is just getting slaughtered. They ran into the ice elves, and in typical "please don't kill me" fashion, everyone's dead. The leader, our tank, screams and runs away. We fast forward a bit further. Outside of the portal, the brother from last season, who's the older brother, whose younger brother was a known human killer inside of these dungeons or portals or whatever, has arrived in is this Japan or Korea? Whatever country we're in. And with his original intent to kill Jinwoo and the kid who I can't remember, but he's the rich kid with the armor. And we get some scenes with him. Basically, he's immediately looking for him, and one of the Hunt Association members is babysitting him. Essentially, he shows up the portal. He has a little bit of a headbutting session with one of the White Tiger Guild head honchos. They're both S ranks.
Which is pretty cool to see two high level guys kind of go at it for a second, even though I'm like, you guys are going to go at it just over this small dispute.
And destroy this area. Yeah, exactly. So the babysitter from the guy who just showed up, though, steps in and calms them down effectively. We go back inside, and the tank guy shows up and sees that they're all camping all peachy keen and is pissed off about it.
He was already going fucking crazy, and that just set him fucking off.
Yeah, so he goes to demand to know who's responsible for hiding all these supplies that would have kept his buddies alive. And then as soon as he tries to do something, Jinwoo shows up, slams him into the ground, and he just goes flying.
Yep.
And then he turns around and says, "Drop the camo. Your aura's too strong to use stealth," and all the ice elves are just there.
They were just tracking the tank guy.
Yeah. They have a little back and forth. We kind of find out that the system has kind of given Jinwoo the ability to understand other languages and communicate with them, as we kind of see an outside perspective of just gibberish being said. But they basically try to make a deal. We also find out that they don't have an innate aggro to Jinwoo, which we suspect is because he's part of the system. He's one of the players. But they have a voice that basically tells them to kill humans. And so they're being commanded constantly.
And a really interesting thing that's been revealed is that when questioned about certain things of who they are, the system didn't allow them to reveal that.
Yeah, so obviously there are protections in place for not giving out too much information, even though the guy was totally ready to blab.
Yeah, he was ready to talk all about it.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit. He makes him a deal, but though he's like, "Give me the humans and you can live." And Jinwoo, obviously says no, and then makes some comment about being outnumbered. He brings out his army now, including bears, and a huge fight happens.
There's a cool scene too where he had a guy on his army that was like, "This guy really wanted to fight you."
He wants to fight you, yeah.
And then Jinwoo just takes his head off real quick, and he's like, "Okay."
It was slick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Anyways, a huge war ensues, and he basically tells everyone else, like, "Get the hell out of here."
Well, they even say it. They can't help here. Like,
Yeah.
this is not a situation
Way
that they
above
can,
their
so
pay
they
grade.
get the fuck out of the way. Yep.
Jinwoo has a bit of a dialogue. He recognizes that the leader of the elves, though, is stronger than him, and so he opts to basically make it a multi-person versus one fight, which the other guy doesn't seem to mind because he just is there for the thrill of the fight anyways. During the fight, the tank, blinded by whatever thoughts he's having,
Psychosis.
just rushes Jinwoo from one side, the elf from the other. Jinwoo takes that opportunity to summon Igris, who makes like a smokescreen out of the snow and then stabs the tank guy. Jinwoo will then turns him into a summon who is basically just a giant tank. And then we get a cool fight between the three of them and the ice elf. Sorry, struggling at the moment. And obviously we go through that bunch of choreography, yada yada yada. They do eventually when the portal opens, they come out. They try to question Jinwoo, and he basically says, "I'm tired. Ask your guildies." He didn't like the big guy with the who is like one of the S rank for the White Tiger Guild. Doesn't like that. Grabs his shoulder with his claws out in a threatening manner. Basically like, no, that wasn't a question. That was a command. Jinwoo turns and returns the ice cold stare and says, "I saved your buddies. You should probably be thanking me." Mm-hmm. And that calms him down. He goes, "Okay, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry," and bows to him. And that is basically it. We get a little bit after that of the next day, and I guess the girl now works for them, and them being Jinwoo and the kid in the armor, and she's very familiar with him all of a sudden, which makes the guy uncomfortable. So
Made me uncomfortable. He also didn't he get an ice weapon?
he got
from
the
elf
guy's sword, and he tried to make him into an undead but failed his 3 attempts, so he didn't get him.
Yeah, because he's like too high a level or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot happened in those 2 episodes.
Yep. Thoughts?
I really liked it. This season is already starting out way better than the first season. Obviously, the first season had to kind of introduce us to the world, the characters, and the progression. This season is just starting the way it should, get us right back into the story and getting us right back into the action, because this is a show that you're definitely kind of watching for the action. Obviously, the leveling aspect is fun too, but I feel like the action is definitely one of the bigger highlights of both seasons. And this season already seems like it's way better. Last season, some scenes were great. Some scenes were kind of whatever. The end of season 1 was like really good, especially the fight, and kind of set the tone for this season.
All the boss fights were good too.
All the boss fights were good, yeah. But was that the season that had the off-screen shit?
It did, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, because there's one show we were complaining about, like, it's good, but like they kept off-screening things. So yeah, this season's already starting out really good. 2 things I want to throw out there before I even talk about the 2 episodes is the intro and the song, and the outro and the song. Way better than season 1, and I actually really like the song at the end of the show now. You said they're TK or something? Yeah. Really good song. I like it, and I think the outro is actually really cool. The intro song is pretty decent as well, and the intro is cool. So that's an improvement in my opinion, because the first season's intro song was kind of dorky.
Yeah,
to me.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
as
it was,
well. And
it was
I think
pretty dorky.
Lisa does really good in the intro. I'm not like in love with the song itself, but her vocals are fantastic.
Yeah, I think it works though. I'm not like every time I hear it going like, okay, like whatever.
Oh yeah, no, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with it. So.
Also, and this is kind of to be expected, but I feel like maybe they've just upped the budget or something. But like all the combat was really well done. Animation was really well done. The show looks a little crispier. Maybe it's obviously because it's just a little newer.
Also, in the credits, they borrowed a ton of help. It looked like there was production.
I hope so.
IG,
With how quick they put this out.
There was all sorts
of
stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the first season was really popular, like instantly. So it kind of makes sense. So with all that said, everything just seems improved, which is great, because I thought the first season was, and I don't want to just keep talking with first season, but we're starting the second one. The first season I thought was solid and fun, but like I didn't like love it. I just thought it was fucking cool. That's it. And this one is also pretty cool, but this one's like kind of elevated in a lot of ways. I think the whole scenario of them getting stuck for like in that world for weeks or a week what was
Days.
it?
It was
Days. Yeah. The tank had said they were going to be there for like months, possibly.
An hour was a day, basically.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the whole premise of them getting locked into this place, and basically they have to win to get out. Otherwise, they're going to die, and they're probably, and the gate's going to open. So, I thought it was a cool premise. I also liked that they went to like a snow world. It wasn't just like a dungeon. And that they fought like intelligent enemies as elves. That's kind of interesting. It's definitely, it feels fresh and different than last season. I thought, you know, is kind of a cool scenario. Like at first I'm like, why are they splitting up? But like it makes sense. He said, you know, we're the only ones that are going to be able to kill the boss. So you guys get the fuck out of here,
try to
basically.
survive by.
Yeah, which it was obviously was really stupid, but it was just kind of funny. Like instantly, it's like, all right, you guys get out of here. But yeah, I liked kind of seeing the difference between the parties, the ones that are more equipped getting slaughtered, and basically Jinwoo just carrying everybody, but that they're all just like laughing around the fire, eating fucking food and shit. It's like
Yeah, they were having a grand old time.
it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing Jinwoo finally summon his army. I was wondering how it's going to be in season 1 because we got, you know, a hint of like he's now a necromancer basically.
Which is such a weird twist.
Yeah, because in the first season he's just like
Very
a dude,
roguelike.
roguelike, fighting like people quickly and has all these stealth abilities and shit. And like then he's like a necromancer. I'm like, where's that going to go?
Right.
Well, we saw it, and we basically saw 2 wars happen. It's kind of cool. I liked how they handled it too, because you see like the bears and his army fighting, but then like, you know, the whole time you're wondering what Aegis can do, and then Aegis fights the major bear and just fucking wrecks him. It was pretty badass, especially when they lob his head off right at Jinwoo's feet. I'm like, that was pretty slick. So, yeah. Then Tank freaking out and just kind of wandering the woods. I almost laughed when he freaked out because I was just like, it's just, that's like multiple times now in the show we've seen people just lose their mind. But I guess if you're going into these dungeons, it's, you know, gonna be not good for you mentally.
Well, especially
but
if you just see everyone get slaughtered in front of you. Yeah.
yeah, and like you said, he's like he's supposed to be like the instructor guy, and everyone just got killed in front of him. But that he just instantly went to like, you guys were hoarding like equipment, and that's why we lost. Like obviously he lost his mind. So, and he was out in the cold. He's like freezing to death. So, and then yeah, the final fight was actually really cool as well. It's really weird how the show just went from like, you know, solo leveling to army battles. And it's also interesting to see that I didn't realize in the first season that he was going to be able to suck up other things and have more of an army. Like, where's that going to go? Is there a cap to that? Is there a limit to how many things you can have at your disposal?
A good solution to an insect island to me.
Yeah, true. And I'm wondering, you know, with what you are summoning, does that take more mana? Is he going to be limited by like, I can only have this guy and this guy out? I don't have the mana to have the whole army. So we'll see where that goes. And of course, if you know, please don't spoil it.
Right.
But it's definitely taken an interesting turn. It's changed the dynamics. I was wondering in season 2 if we're just going to have more of what we got in the first season. So far, in the best way possible, it's more the same. But things have changed, and it's really interesting. Especially now that he has bears, an army, and now the tank who tried to kill him. He instantly just took his fucking essence and turned him into a summon, which was really wild, especially from the elves' perspective. When he ran in, we didn't see what happened yet.
Yeah.
And there's a big dude. I'm like, what is that? Where'd you get that from? And then it goes back and shows what happened.
Yeah, they did that really well.
Yeah, it was interesting the way they did that, because for a second I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like,
He's just pulling shit out of his ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then now we're getting like characteristics with his army too, because afterwards Aegis is like more of like the loyal soldier, and the tank is kind of like oafish. Yeah. But it's weird because that guy was like a real person. He's just dead now, and now he's like turned into this caricature, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was going to kill Jinwoo, so if he's obviously he had to go. But and his plan sucked. It was just bad. Like if you're going to lead a party into a dungeon in an MMO, don't make dumbass decisions like that, I guess. So yeah, it was interesting to see like that he was like looking for like, you know, everybody to be pumped about winning, and Aegis is like, nah, and just walked off. But you know, the mages were like stoked about it. I thought that was kind of funny. And last thing I'll touch on, I guess, is it's interesting that in the dungeon, Jinwoo's feeling so confident now in his abilities that he's less interested in hiding himself.
Yeah.
Because he's like, don't ask me questions, but I'm gonna do stuff in front of you. Just don't ask me about it. And then even when he came out of the portal, which I like the way they did that, because the two people of the White Tiger Guild came running out, and he's like, "Oh, how the hell did you guys survive? Oh, it must have been the A rank tank guy." And then it's just Jinwoo.
Two E ranks come out.
And he's just like, "What the fuck? Like, what the hell happened in there?" But it was interesting that when the guy's trying to question Jinwoo wasn't playing like, oh, I don't know what happened. Haha. He was just like, I'm not talking to you.
I'm tired.
Yeah. So he's being way more bold in this season. But I mean, I guess I'd be more bold too if I had like a giant fucking shadow army. So, the first two episodes I thought were pretty badass. I liked them. Pretty fun to watch. Cool fucking combat. Interesting scenarios. And because of the nature of the show and him just leveling up and like getting new abilities and weapons and army stuff now, and the introduction to this girl being part of the group, we'll see where that goes. Very interested in seeing where the season goes so far, and we'll be doing episodic reviews after this. So, what were your thoughts?
I'm basically going to be echoing pretty much everything you said.
Yeah.
The OP is good. The ED I will be buying. I like that song a lot, but I like TK. So, the show, I agree with you. I think that the first season, because we had to do so much introducing and they did so much like off screening and like the inconsistency, and it wasn't bad. I liked first season. I just didn't think it was like a great show.
And if you want to know our thoughts, check out our reviews.
Yeah, this is a real strong start. We're getting right into it. The flow feels really good. The cuts to other things that are relevant in the story feel better, in my opinion, than they did last season.
Yep.
And the choreography, the fight scenes, the sound design you had brought up during the fights and stuff like that are really good. My only complaint was I thought the music playing during the bear fight was dorky.
Yeah.
But that's it.
They like synced it with what was happening in a way that felt right, but the song itself wasn't.
Yeah, it kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But all the other moments were fantastic. I especially just all the action shots were all very well done. When he chopped that dude's head off in an instant,
that was cool.
The way they handled that, I was audible when it happened.
Yeah, I also liked when he killed the lead ice elf guy because he went and like stabbed him, which wasn't enough to stop him. But in the moment that he was talking to him, telling him it's over, the tank was coming down with a hammer and just slamming him.
Well, and the scene was done so well too because he was invisible, showed up, and when he was not even in like focus anymore, and he was walking away, he started stealthing again. It looked so slick the way they did that. So. Whoever is directing this is doing a very good job on scenes because they're just really good.
Yeah, there was multiple scenes in the two episodes that we watched that were just like I said, the only word I can think of is like badass. They're definitely going for like badass shots and stuff, and they're nailing them. So
yeah, the angles, the timings and stuff like that, they're just really good. So hopefully, if the whole season's like this, awesome. I'm thrilled because
I'm hoping they can maintain it because these two episodes momentum is really good.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to see where it goes. I mean, we obviously have like a lot of threads that were left behind from the last season, so we got a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
And like you said, I'm kind of curious now with this new E rank edition, how that's gonna, come into play because no one else can level, so she's stuck at E rank. So it'd be
I'm curious. Like, is she also gonna reawaken or something? Because like I don't understand why she's even being introduced.
Other than to babysitter, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, or added some kind of like comedy or some light.
I do think they need X amount of members though to get their project going. So it's probably just
collecting people.
Yeah. But either way, I had a great time. Looking forward to the next one. So.
Yeah. I also liked the the brief moments we had with that brother who showed up, because we saw, you know, he was on his way in last season, and this season he shows up, and even though he's like obviously a douchebag, like they're setting him up to just be a complete dick. So, you know, when he gets defeated or whatever the hell happens, it'll be understandable. But I liked seeing him show up because we got to see some interesting dynamics between the S ranks that we weren't really seeing in the first season. The first season we had a lot of like office meetings with like S ranks and leaders and stuff.
Or like the girl just going through town until she got noticed, and then everyone was like fawning over her.
Yeah. So actually seeing two people interact in a negative way was kind of refreshing and different. And I also like the idea that they're just like waiting outside the portal because they don't know what the fuck's going to happen in there. But there's like, they either are going to come out or they're not. But we got to see what happens here.
Monsters, basically. Yeah.
So. Exactly. So, plus the dude who just had faith that Jinwoo was going to make his way out, basically. Yeah. And then when he did, he was like, I fucking knew it. Like, it was kind of remind me of what's his nuts from Dune Part 2.
The true believer.
Being the hype man, yeah. Solid 2 episodes.
Agreed.
Definitely a better start than season 1. So, and they, you know, have the opportunity to do that, and they did it. So,
for sure.
Got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, we both seem to have liked it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of these first 2 episodes. Favorite parts. Maybe you have some complaints. We had some minor ones. Well, with the music, I didn't think about that. Although the audio design I thought was pretty decent in a lot of ways too.
It was the only time where like, instead of me paying attention to what was happening in the show, it
was distracting. I was
like, what's up with the music?
Yeah, I can give you that for sure. What do you think about the 2 episodes? Favorite parts, blah blah blah, and where do you think it's going? Where do you hope it's going? Unless you know, please don't tell us. We have not read the manhwa, so we do not know where it's going. We want to go in blind. Look forward to episode 3's review from us. That'll be happening. We'll be doing episodic reviews of this, and then we are also watching Sakamoto Days right now, doing episodic reviews of that. And if you want to see our full season 1 of Ranma half review, check that out. That is out now. And it's a little longer review, but we covered 2 episodes, so you guys understand. And we'll talk to you guys later. I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Until next episode, talk to you guys later.